Okay. Das Event will ich ja noch irgendwann mal spielen, weil das wird irgendwann mal ablaufen. Also Prerequisite Quest ist die Archon Quest. Archon Quest, Prerequisite Quest. Das hier. Und das ist AK Palmatum Chapter Act 1. Also Kazuha. Heißt, Kazuha Quest wird actually mal gespielt. Ich hatte es schon lange vor zu spielen, Kazuhas Quest. Aber ich habe es irgendwie nie gemacht. Naja, jetzt werde ich sie halt spielen. Ich hatte sie auch sogar mal aus Versehen getriggert. Hier schon. Beim Byaku Plane. Aber ja. Ich würde damit dann halt sagen, hey, hey, dann kämpfe ich hier wohl gegen den Samurai. Samurai. Juhu.
Since we first set foot on Inazuma.
Ah, die Animation wird einfach nur abgespielt? Oder wie? Jetzt kommt ja hier so ein Kaidagi mit einem komischen Katana und das ist ja auch... Ja, wusste ich schon. Halt. Hatte ich ja schon mal gesehen. As if in the blink of an eye, there have been many memorable events.
Yeah, we've definitely made some progress on our journey. So, where should we go today?
Wait a moment.
Huh? What's up?
Ja, dieser Katana. Ich glaube, das ist sogar der Katana auch für Kazuha. Seine Signature Weapon, so to speak. Also nicht Signature, aber seine Story Quest Waffe, weil das... Man kriegt sie, glaube ich, aus seiner Story Quest dann. Be careful, someone's coming. Aber sie ist scheiße actually für ihn. Also für Kazuha selbst.
What the heck was that for?
Sein Attacker.
Doesn't wanna talk, huh?
Ah, come on.
Let's convince him to calm down a little.
Oh, hold on. Der kann voll gut tanken. Was ist das denn? Aber mein Fuß doch nicht.
So you don't have a vision after all. Seems like I've mistaken you for someone else.
Okay.
At the very least, you should make sure you've got the right person before you go attacking them. No, wait. Even when you've got the right person, you shouldn't go attacking them out of the blue.
What the fuck?
It's dangerous.
Okay.
Have you ever met someone by the name of Kaedahara Kazuha?
Of course I have.
He carries a sword just like you. I've also heard that he possesses an animal vision.
Why are you looking for him?
That's none of your business. Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting my time.
Aber ich habe ihn schon mal gesehen. Was hast du, Mann?
What the heck is this guy's problem? Coming around here, waving that weird sword in our faces, and he didn't even apologize. Seems like a real nutcase. Well, one thing's for sure. No way are we telling him anything about Kazuha.
Couldn't agree more. Very smart, for once.
Hey! Don't be mean! I'm unsmart lots of the time!
No.
Anyway, just to be on the safe side, we should go fight Kazuha right away and tell him to watch his back.
Actually, I have a hunch.
Oh? What kind of hunch?
I think this guy may have a special connection to Kazuha. Halt, Samurai und Samurai.
A special connection? You mean beyond already knowing each other?
I can't say for sure, but I feel like their fighting styles are kind of similar.
Yeah.
How should I
Maybe
be
a
able to tell?
little.
Digga.
But then again, most people look pretty much the same once they start fighting, so that doesn't really prove anything.
Okay.
Anyway, there's no time to lose. Let's go tell Kazuha so we won't get into any danger.
Seit wann wissen wir, wo Kazuha lebt?
Paimon heard that the Crux fleet is stocking up in Rito at the moment.
Ah,
Let's look for
true.
him there.
Der ist dort. Ein Blasinstrument so elegant, die Töne so laut, üben sollten man täglich. Töne wie ein Elefant, das Rampenlicht von allen geklaut, doch du scheiterst kläglich. I mean, okay. I mean, sorry, Mann. Das Rampenlicht von allen geklaut, doch du scheiterst kläglich. Very sad, Mann. Very sad. Üben sollte man täglich. Hehe. Ich übe meine Trompete exakt 0 Mal außerhalb der Big Band Proben und meinem Privatunterricht. ABC, ABC. Yes. Ciao.
Hey! Hello? Do you know where Kazuha is?
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after all.
2?
Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run, only this time, as soon as we entered the harbor, we ran into a huge crowd of Inazumans, all of them wanting to know about Kazuha. If it's because of that battle on Mizuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too, but I don't see her getting this kind of attention. Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even listen to the captain, but she just laughs it off.
Oh, so you still don't know what he did?
I've heard bits and pieces. Something about him blocking the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be?
You could compare it to the technique Beto used to strike down Haishan.
Really? Wow. When you put it like that, it all makes sense. In that case, his newfound stardom is well deserved. He was called away earlier by some people from the Tenryo Commission. They said they had something important to discuss with him. I thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they couldn't have been friendlier to him. Seems like they really respect the guy.
Just a little while ago, this would have been completely unimaginable.
The Shogunate probably wants to show some goodwill. After all, the Raiden Shogun's mindset has changed.
Thank you! Guess we'll go pay a visit to the Tenryo Commission.
Alright then. I'll just stay here and carry on trying to fend off the crowd.
Kujo Kamayaji is... Kujo Kamaji is busy completing the quest The Wind Settles. Bro, was ist The Wind Set... Welche Quest ist das? Suppressus Custos, Chapter Act 1. Und wer ist das jetzt? Er. Ayato. Ayato! So hässlich, Alter. Disgusting. Aber der ist auch hier auf dieser Insel, das weiß ich. Talk to the people of Rito. Ich weiß noch, dass ich es damals ein bisschen durchgesweatet hatte, nachdem ich diese Quest noch das Event spielen wollte und das um 3 Uhr dann gefinisht hatte. Morgens. Wo das Event sonst geendet hatte. Bruder, ich und mein Froschboulier haben einfach 5902 Nachrichten im Chat. Das ist mehr wie gedacht. Das ist DC only. Das klingt very insane. Ich frag mich, von wo du überhaupt diese Zahl her hast, dass du es weißt, aber I mean. Das ist okay. Was ist das hier eigentlich alles? Warum sind hier so viele Leute? Hatanaka. Hatanaka. Warte. Es ist das Naka-Zeichen für Drone, beziehungsweise Mitte. Tatsächlich. Hatanaka. Man kann ja die Nachrichten nach Benutzer filtern, dann zeigt es dann so. Ach so. Okay. Hatanaka.
Hello. How may I help?
What are you doing? Why is there such a strong Tenryo Commission presence here?
We arrived here 2 days ago to escort Lady Hiragi to Inazuma City.
Das ist halt lustig, jetzt sieht's gerade so aus. Ich will die Sumeru Quest spielen, erst das Sumeru Event spielen, dafür muss ich die Kazuha muss ich die Archon Quest spielen, dafür muss ich die Kazuha Quest spielen, dafür muss ich die Ayato Quest spielen. Ist lustig. Not gonna lie.
Sir Kujo Kamaji gave us very strict orders, so we have to obey. But every time we attempt to receive the bride, the Hiragi clan always finds an excuse to delay things. Since we haven't fulfilled our duties yet, we decided to stay in Rito until Lady Hiragi is ready to come with us.
Everyone is scared. People suspect something is wrong.
We apologize. It was not our intention to stay here so long. We promise our presence here will not impact ordinary people's lives. We can only hope that the leaders of the Hiragi clan will start to cooperate soon. If this stalemate continues, who knows? Sir Kujo might give us orders to be less accommodating.
These people from the Tenryo Commission have been here for days now. I guess they're here to pick up Lady Hiragi. But why would it be taking so long?
I heard that the Kanjo Commission suddenly said they don't want Lady Hiragi to leave. To be honest, I'd be hesitant if I were her. A crowd this size comes to Rito? Who knows what they could be planning?
Shh, stay quiet. Someone might hear you.
Oh, right. Sorry. How did things get to this point?
Hiragi Chisato is now at the center of every conversation in Rito. By now, the Kanjo Commission probably knows how important she is. But what about what she thinks? Oh, let's go and see.
Ja, okay. By the way, habe ich eigentlich... Ich habe C3 auf ihm, das ist gar nicht mal so schlecht. Das würde ich vielleicht bald aktivieren. Ich benutze ihn sowieso noch nicht, also lasse ich es noch kurz. Aber wie sieht es eigentlich mit dem aus, mit meinem 4-Piece hier? Ich habe kein 4-Piece, absolut nicht. Debut Memories. Oh, das sieht actually nicht schlecht aus, könnte man benutzen. Ja, das hier. Ja, hier nicht. Das könnte usable sein. Das hier sieht besser aus. Das sieht auch sehr gut aus. I mean, die hier sehen nicht so gut aus und das hier sieht auch nicht... Und das hier sieht auch nicht so gut aus, aber die zwei könnten voll gut werden. Das heißt, dann könnte ich, wenn ich hier noch etwas habe, das gut wird, ein 4-Piece-Set haben und hier ein... Ich meine, 4-Piece könnte ich haben und hier könnte ich rein theoretisch dann ein Offset haben auf Denjo Damage Bonus. Okay, das sieht scheiße aus. Die Artefakte sehen aber gar nicht so gut aus. Das hier könnte nicht schlecht sein. Das hier auch. Für ER. Egal. Ich mache erstmal die Quest vielleicht.
Oh, Traveler! I assume you've heard about everything that's been going on out there. What on earth is happening?
Don't worry, we can explain everything. So, what happened was...
Hold on, someone might be eavesdropping. Let me check it out. Was?
After the Tenryou Commission arrived, they suddenly became alarmed. They keep having secretive discussions and won't allow me to have any direct contact with the Tenryou Commission. I never would have thought that this was Sir Kamisato's plan. Now it all makes sense.
Since we last met, have you made your mind up?
I'm sorry. I haven't. Maybe there's no right or wrong decision. Maybe everything would be easier if I simply didn't have the choice. I used to tell myself things like this to avoid having to think about it. But once I saw the notices appearing out of nowhere on the streets, signaling that the wedding was confirmed, I didn't feel reassured at all. Instead, I felt a great sense of regret. I keep thinking back to what Sir Kamisato said. This is supposed to be my bright and beautiful future. But what if it's not?
You can't rush into important things. Ich glaube, ich sollte mich muten, während ich gerade was mache.
I can happily accept that if someone was trying to take advantage of my marriage, I should absolutely refuse to go through with it. But that's not the answer I'm looking for. And also, now that things have escalated to this point, it will be tricky to resolve.
Ah, Lady Hiragi, here you are. You scared me for a second. I thought you'd gone missing. You... Wait, you're the ones who were with the Yoshiro Commissioner that day. What do you think you're doing here? Are you trying to convince Lady Hiragi to leave?
What the
Calm
heck?
down. They're my friends. They're just here to visit me.
Friends? Are you sure? Just friends? Lady Hiragi, I told you already, these are exceptional circumstances. You need to be more vigilant in everything you do. You are extremely important to us, and to the entire Kanjo Commission. Who's to say they don't have a hidden agenda?
If you want to accuse us of trying to abduct her, just come out and say it!
You are acting far less dignified than when we last met. Was?
Don't be rude.
Das hab ich Ihnen
You've been very highly
bemerken
strung
konnte.
lately, seeing everything as a threat.
You won't even follow Lady Hiragi's orders now. Was? Was ist eigentlich dein
Listen to me.
Musikgeschmack? Alles.
I know
Fast.
all the ins and
Also
outs
ich höre
of
eigentlich nicht
everything
viel.
that's happened so far.
Aber ich kann alles
His
hören,
arrival
fast.
might well be your very last chance to
Außer
fix
so
this.
Kindergesang oder so. Das regt mich
The
auf.
present state of affairs
Oder
in
Musik für
Rito
kleine
shows
Kinder.
me that the situation has escalated well past the point where you could hope to control it. If this deadlock continues any longer, we will have nothing to gain and much to lose. This is not an order. All I need you to do is give me an explanation and take responsibility for the situation.
Also das alles kann ich dir nehmen. Bitte was? Was meinst du damit?
Understood, my lady. I shall discuss with the others right away.
Und solange es nicht low quality ist, kann ich eigentlich die meisten Genres hören,
Job,
würde ich sagen.
Chisato. You handled that well.
I was so nervous.
Es gibt da Lieder, die anderes
But I
aussagen.
thought things
Okay.
are now so critical that I should at least give it a try. And it worked remarkably well.
That's what I call a voice of authority.
Yes. Well, let's wait and see what happens. I hope they provide a satisfactory response.
We had a serious discussion and reflected on our mistakes. In all honesty, no one can handle the weight of the situation here. Everyone is besides themselves with worry. It'll drive us mad if it continues any longer.
Ich persönlich habe meinen Musikgeschmack hops genommen. Alles klar. Ich weiß nicht, ob das gut ist oder eher schlecht. Ich glaube eher schlecht, aber I don't know.
Ah, I'm so sorry. My actions were radical and duplicitous. I was selfish and ignored the greater good. And then I left the situation to fester. Would you please give us a second chance? For my lady's sake, please give the Conjo Commission another chance.
Nur noch Hardstyle und darüber hinaus. Okay, kein Plan, was das ist, egal. Ja, ich sehe schon. Jojo, hey Sushi, willkommen zurück. It's no use talking to
I
me.
suppose you're right. The only person who can change the
Ich
Tenryo
habe das jetzt
Commission's
eigentlich
mind
deswegen
will be
verstanden,
the
nur bei der Arkham
Yashiro
Quest gemacht, das ist
Commissioner.
jetzt eine Story Quest. Also ja.
We'll head off to the
Quest by the way.
Kamisato estate shortly and beseech him to help us with the utmost sincerity. Lady Hiragi, might I ask you to join us? You are the most important person. Without you, we have no other way.
Go to the Kamisato Estate to meet Ayato. Ich glaube, ich mache einfach die ganze Ayato-Quest zu Ende.
By the way, aren't you a good friend of the Yashiro Commissioner? Please put in some good words for me.
Propagate!
Ich finde die Musik lustig. Ich meine, die Hintergrundmusik von dieser Stelle hier ist halt die Hintergrundmusik auch von einem Video, das natürlich auch von dieser Stelle ist. Das ist von, ich weiß nicht, Kokomda, glaube ich, ist der Channel. No Boba, No Life oder sowas. Ich weiß nicht warum, aber irgendwie feiere ich das voll. Hier ist Ayato. I see. Ich sehe was Glitzerndes. Ich klaue Bücher, Mann. Haha. Oh yeah. Bücher klauen. Oh. Nice. Klamotten von Ayaka. Was? Oh, Katana. 2 Katana. Der Typ steht auch vor 2 Katana. Ayato. Ich wollte gerade zu Ayato switchen, bis mir aufgefallen ist, dass dieser Account kein Ayato hat. Sondern nur der andere. Kurz kriminell geworden. Warte.
Yashiro Commissioner, I'm sure you've heard the news. The Tenryo Commission has now occupied Rito, refusing to leave until we hand Lady Hiragi over to them.
Warte. Profi-Ente. Sushil, was geht denn bei dir ab? Dein Geruch trifft meinen Geschmack, deine Nähe will ich verspüren, meine Hand soll ich dir gebühren. Die Frage für ein Date beantworte ich mit na Logo, aber du weißt, ne Homo. Ungefähr Profi-Ente. Ey, leck mich Automod. Moment. Hier. Ja. literally unten drunter das hier. Aggression. Sexuality, sex or gender. I mean, I guess allow it. Es ist künstlerische Ausgestaltung. Ja, ja.
I realize I've greatly offended you with my atrocious actions. And I realize also that this must sound like the very height of absurdity. But please, have mercy, good sir.
I'm sorry, Mr. Matsura. I'm exceptionally busy and have but a moment to spare before my next engagement. I fear this leaves no time for small talk.
Ich muss mal kurz die Rohläden höher schalten, es wird langsam zu dunkel im Zimmer. Warte, was? Ich nehme demnach alles zurück? Warte, was? Egal.
So, please, if you would be so kind, get straight to the point.
I know our apology means nothing to you, but we really have nothing else left to offer by this point. I'm terribly sorry. Everyone in the entire Kanjo Commission now realizes the gravity of this situation. Lady Hiragi is indispensable to us. We promise to always support her. So, would it be at all possible for you to talk to Sir Kujo once more, on our behalf?
You make it sound so easy. The Tri-Commission will be ridiculed by the public if we choose to withdraw the notices now and eat our words. What do you plan to do about this? To lose face for the Tri-Commission is to bring shame to Her Excellency. Are you and your associates ready to face the thunderous wrath of the almighty Shogun?
We'll take full responsibility. We'll publish a new notice and hold a conference to explain the situation. We will make sure that the public knows this was all a huge misunderstanding. We'll do everything we can to minimize the impact. Everything we can.
Master Matsura, you should have known it would come to this. Whatever were you thinking? But the Tri-Commission must always put the interests of Inazuma first, regardless of what Sir Kujo and I may feel at this present moment. If the situation in Rito is left to fester any further, things may get out of control. But Lady Hiragi and the inhabitants of Rito are innocent. If we fail to contain the situation promptly, the rumor mill will wreak havoc on the Tri-Commission's reputation. Try keeping a pet bird. You'll see what I mean. Songbirds who know how to hold a tune can be very pleasant to listen to, but they can also become irritating if they don't know when to stop. And as for the ones with excessively long tongues, well, they're so insufferable that they can't be kept as pets at all. But it doesn't take a moment to cut out their tongues and silence them for good.
Yes, I understand.
I've listened to your concerns, and I'll talk to Sir Kujo for you. But I can't guarantee that he will change his mind.
I understand. Thank you for your help, Yashiro Commissioner.
All right, you ought to return now. I'm sure you have a sizable mess to deal with back in the Kanjo Commission.
Okay, then please excuse me. Thank you once again, Commissioner.
Okay.
Ah, yes, Lady Hiragi. I have something to tell you. Would you mind?
Oh? Why, of course. Sir Kamisato, you became a completely different person just now. It felt so intense.
Unruly servants like him need to be severely reprimanded. As a commissioner, the almighty Shogun trusts me to do her will. I did as I should. But now, I'd like to take off my commissioner hat and share a personal story with you.
Oh, please. I'd love to hear it.
You must have heard that the Kamisato clan once went through an extremely difficult period. My father worked incredibly hard to compensate for the grave errors made by the Kamisato clan long ago and restore our reputation. The work took a toll on his health and ultimately led to his untimely demise. My mother loved him dearly. She passed soon after. This sudden turn of events dealt a heavy blow to the Ashiro Commission. Behind the scenes, things became very unstable.
Ach so, ich habe mich schon mal gefragt, wo sind eigentlich die Eltern von Ayato und Ayaka, weil sie ist ja, Ayaka ist die Tochter vom Kamisato-Clan und Ayato ist dementsprechend der Sohn, also der Ältere. Aber das heißt, wenn beide Eltern gestorben sind, dann sind sie doch nicht mehr Tochter und so. Dann sind sie doch schon basically einfach die Leader. Also, hä? Aber ist interessant. Okay, gut zu wissen, dass die actually inzwischen Waisen sozusagen sind.
Everyone thought that the Kamisato clan had lost power.
Vor allem, weil Ayaka ja
That made
gerade mal
my sister
18
mean
ist,
nothing
glaube
but
ich, ungefähr.
burdens hindering the ambitions of others.
Man weiß ja nicht mal, wie alt Ayaka ist, glaube ich, aber ich glaube, deren Alter war so zwischen 17 und 19. So irgendwo dazwischen 17, 18, 19. Viel älter und jünger macht beides keinen Sinn. Und unter 17 soll es eigentlich nicht sein, weil sonst wäre sie nicht legal. Und no offense, aber Ayaka ist der Traveler-Simp im ganzen Game. So, ich gehe dann mal wieder und komme vielleicht 20 bis 30 Minuten wieder, wenn du noch da bist. Ey, ich werde das safe da sein, ich muss noch so viele Story-Quests spielen. Das ist unglaublich.
It may sound preposterous now, but I assure you that is the truth of what the Yashiro Commission has been through.
Huh. Pretty similar to how the Kanjo Commission is now.
Back then, I had no choice but to accept the position I was in. While I desperately looked around for powerful supporters, I endured smear campaigns and attempts to exploit me. I had no other choice. I had to honor my parents' dying wishes, and I also had a young sister to take care of. I didn't mind what became of me, but my family. No one can ever be allowed to trample over my precious family. Fortunately, I persisted, and the Kamisato clan was able to survive this storm.
I think I now know where my sense of loss and confusion was coming from. Shinojo once told me that he saw what was in me in a way that no one else did. That's why he couldn't bear to see me live the rest of my life depending on someone else. I thought the reason I felt unsettled was because of uncertainty over getting married. But the fact is, it's because I felt too young and inexperienced to handle the situation facing me.
The reason why Sir Kujo was able to face the prospect of marriage so confidently is because he's prepared for anything.
That's it. The situation I'm facing now is the same one he faced back then. When his clan was in crisis, he bravely drew his blade and challenged the almighty Shogun. And now, it is time for me to make a stand and become my own person.
Well said. I'm sure once you have grown and gained confidence, your father will be able to let go and allow you to decide how you want to live the rest
Ja,
of
ich
your
habe nicht
life.
mehr Ahnung, was eigentlich der Kontext
It
von
might
dem hier
not
ist.
sound
Also das
exciting,
irgendwas wie mit
but this
Hiragi
kind
will
of
nicht
personal growth is a
heiraten oder so.
necessary step in the pursuit of true happiness.
And I'm sure I can get there.
Ich habe das ja auch
I
damals
will use this
geskippt. Das
as
ist die
an
einzige
opportunity to
Story-Quest, die ich,
take over the
glaube ich, jemals
responsibilities of
komplett
the Hiragi
durchgeskippt habe.
clan. I'll think about marriage again after everything is more settled. This puts less pressure on Kamachi and means I can support and protect myself without having to worry about becoming a burden or dependent on someone else.
My best wishes to both of you were and remain heartfelt. When the time comes for the wedding to go ahead, I will come to congratulate you once more.
Thank you, Sir Kamisato. I am grateful for everything you have shared with me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a lot to deal with back home.
Take care, Lady Hiragi. I'm confident that on your return, you will find your Kanjo Commission associates most receptive to your instruction.
Yes, in fact, my recent experience suggests the same. Thank you once again.
She really has the air of a leader now.
They are really... Warte, was? They are really... Da hat der Übersetzer was verkackt. They are really a good match for each other. Let's go.
Hats off to you too, sir. Everyone thought there was no way out until you pulled that super smart strategy out of nowhere.
In fact, counter-checking is a perfectly common maneuver in the game of chess. Our rival this time was easy to deal with. He was smart, but short-sighted, and sloppy in his execution. This outcome is entirely within my expectation.
Even think so. Paimon could never come up with a plan that cunning in a whole lifetime. Anyway, it's kind of a relief to see that Chisato has decided to set the Hiragi clan straight.
I agree. Stability in Inazuma benefits me as well. I wasn't about to pass up an opportunity to make less trouble for myself.
Speaking about your stance, you weren't in this just to help Chisato, were you?
Well, the fact is that I am first and foremost the Yashiro Commissioner. Perhaps for Master Matsura, power is his life's pursuit. But for me, nothing matters more than the stability of Inazuma. A stable nation is the prerequisite for a stable Yashiro Commission. Only then can the Kamisato clan and the other Yashiro Commission clans have a peaceful existence. But human desire will always be a factor in the equation. This is not the first situation of its kind, nor will it be the last. All I have tried to do is make sure the three parties to the Tri-Commission serve to restrain each other. Stasis is not the only form of stability. A balance of power leaving no room for maneuver achieves the same end.
Balance of power, mutual restraint.
Another positive outcome is that everyone recognizes how important Lady Hiragi is now. I think I did her a sizable favor in that regard. Dealing with the Hiragi clan will be much easier for her than navigating a new and unfamiliar one.
There were so many things at play over this one wedding. Wait a second. You weren't trying to stop the wedding from the very beginning, were you?
I thought straight away it was bad timing. Nevertheless, everything I said to Hiragi Chisato was entirely sincere. If you choose to give up your stance on something once, you'll be having to compromise for the rest of your life. I didn't want to see her suffer because she didn't realize what she was getting into. Now, she has the chance to become her own person. Let's see who she becomes.
Okay then, guess we'll have to wait and see.
See you next time.
All right. Farewell, and profuse thanks to you both. I shall have to host you at the Kamisato estate when my sister is next available.
Was macht überhaupt Ayaka? Ich verstehe es nicht mal. Ich meine, Ayato kümmert sich um die ganzen Sachen, aber Ayaka?
Looks like everything's resolved. Masterfully done. Everything was perfect. Well, except for one minor detail. I somehow ended up with a glass of very peculiar tasting milk.
Didn't you like it? I distinctly remember you saying you are quite partial to exotic flavors.
Oh, my lord?
The Traveler had one of those as well.
I'm sure he's made a great impression on you.
The Traveler did indeed play a critical role in this case. I'm sure both families would have been more guarded against me had he and his companion not been present. It wouldn't have been so easy to get to the heart of the matter.
There you go again, my lord. Placing the focus on other people while discreetly performing your job to perfection.
Naturally. Yes. Now that we're both free, let's finish off that game of chess we started a few days ago.
War das jetzt schon die Quest? Oder kommt jetzt noch eine Animation? Okay. Ich habe keinen Plan, was hier abgegangen ist, aber ich habe die Quest gespielt jetzt. Gut, passt. Jetzt kann ich auch die Quest hier weitermachen. Ist es überhaupt die richtige Quest? Acapalma, ja, okay, gut. Besser ist es. Es ging jetzt sogar relativ schnell noch, das mit Ayato, weil ich ja schon den größten Teil durchgeskippt hatte damals, als ich das Event freischalten musste. Aber ja, jetzt kommt die Kazuha Quest. Und ja. Oh, da ist ein Kazuha. Und der andere Typ da. Warum ist hier so eine Kampfmusik? Kann ich theoretisch diese Teile da abschießen? Ja, das bringt nichts. Schade.
Oh? It's you.
Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt decree. Since you're here, you're very welcome to listen in on the conversation. We invited Mr. Kaidahara here to extend a gesture of goodwill on behalf of the shogunate. Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. Also, I've been granted the chance to correct my clan's past mistakes, and for that, I'm deeply grateful. The Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least easing, the tensions that have built up over the years. The Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to restore the honor of the Kaidahara name. Regarding the history of the Kaidahara clan, I trust that you're already somewhat informed?
I've heard a thing or two. I forgot.
In short, there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the Shogun directly, responsible for upholding and further developing the traditional blade forging arts of the Almighty Shogun. The Kaidahara clan belonged to this class. But there came a time when some of these bladesmiths revolted and fled to Snezhnaya. Both the Kaidahara and Kamisato clans were held accountable for lax oversight and entered a period of great turmoil. We later learned that the whole misadventure had been secretly orchestrated by the Fatui. Attributing all of the blame to the Kamisato and Kaidahara clans was neither proper nor just. Considering Mr. Kaidahara has once more made an outstanding contribution to Inazuma, the Almighty Shogun believes he should not only be rewarded for his achievements, but also receive recompense for the excessive punishment borne by his clan in the past. In the interest of preventing further harassment of the bladesmith clans by the Fatui, we chose not to publicly release the findings of our investigations into these matters. We trust you can understand why this was necessary.
This is a true honor. I am delighted to be in a position to receive the goodwill of the Almighty Shogun and the Shogunate at large. However, would I be correct to assume that this magnanimous gesture does not come without some strings attached?
I can assure you that nothing could be further from the truth. We seek only to correct a past injustice. With the Kaidahara clan's reputation and occupation restored, the Kaidaharas will be bladesmiths once more, and your wanderings will finally come to an end. You will be able to lead a safe, prosperous life in Inazuma City with the Almighty Shogun's blessing and full support of the Shogunate.
I have grown accustomed to life among the elements. I fear I would no longer feel at home behind the tall walls of a stately abode.
Man hört zwar einen Unterschied, aber ich finde trotzdem, dass Kazuha und Keiya eine annähernd ähnliche Stimme haben.
Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaidahara, and the art of blade making for which it stood. I do have a responsibility to restore their honor.
I sense some hesitation in your words. Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors currently circulating through the populace will disappear.
Malicious rumors? All we heard on the way here was so much praise that we almost wondered whether there was another Kaidahara Kazuha in town.
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They cannot accept the idea that Mr. Kaidahara really parried the Shogun's strike. Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo. As a result, the falsehood that Kaidahara Kazuha was using a delusion began to spread.
What? But that doesn't make sense. Using a delusion turns you old and frail, and Kazuha still looks fine.
That is correct. However, to some people, the idea of a single person wielding two elements at once is a more inconceivable notion still.
This is just one of many similar rumors. I am very uncomfortable with being the subject of public discussion, no matter whether it brings suspicion or stardom my way. But perhaps if the Shogunate is willing to publicly support me, this situation will blow over more quickly.
This is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some serious thought. It stands to benefit all of us.
Please allow me some time to consider. In fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment. Well then, what brings the two of you here?
Yikes! We nearly forgot about the most important thing!
Ach so.
Why would such a dangerous individual be looking for me?
Do you have any siblings? Could it be that someone you trained with under the same... Could it be someone you trained with under the same master?
No. This puzzles me as much as it does you. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. We undergo rigorous training to standardize every motion the blade is put through, so that each can be fairly assessed for
Warum
quality.
sollten sie aber deren
Over time,
Katana
these techniques
ausstellen,
came to form something of a
außerhalb der
Kaidahara sword art,
Scheiden?
focused on blade testing, but with a full repertoire of combat forms. Those forms are quite different from the more practical ones typically used by samurai in battle. So it's hard to imagine that the similarity you speak of was coincidence alone.
All the more reason to watch your back. This guy was a serious nutcase.
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive. Anyone he targets is at risk of serious injury, or worse.
In that case, I will send some men out immediately to search for him.
Thank you. I must say I am now very curious about this matter, and I will also need some time to consider your offer. I will first join the Traveler in investigating the one who attacked him, then give you a conclusive answer upon my return.
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
Okay.
The detective agency knows the most about what goes on in town. Let's see what Ryuji has to say.
Ryuji. Man kriegt actually sehr viel Adventure XP von Quests. Ich hänge meinen anderen Account so ab. Ich war mal ähnlich weit. Also am Anfang war ja dieser Account natürlich irgendwie 10 Adventure Ranks unter dem anderen. Oder 20 sogar, als ich ganz angefangen hatte. Weil da hatte ich ja, dieser Account ist 2 Wochen jünger als der andere. Da hatte ich den mal überholt und dann war ich mal ungefähr auf ähnlichem Level von Adventure Rank. Und inzwischen bin ich fast 200.000 XP weiter. Aber erstmal 197.777, das ist auch eine lustige Zahl. Ich hatte heute erst gesehen 7.777, also ich bin literally 190.000 Experience weiter. Und ich muss noch die Quests hier machen, meine Daily Commissions meine ich später. Also just saying. Ich glaube, ich mache auch danach erstmal meine Dailies.
Take it easy.
Ryuji. Aber ich muss mir erstmal kurz was zu trinken holen. Ich habe schon gerade seit, was weiß ich, wie vielen Stunden nichts mehr getrunken. Okay, bin wieder da.
Hey there! We'd like to ask you a quick question. Do you know if anyone around here has been looking for him? For Kaidahara Kazuha, we mean.
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr. Kaidehara. I've heard a lot about you. It is an honor to finally meet you today.
You are too kind. We are currently investigating an assault and would appreciate any help you can offer.
Oh? You were targeted in an assault? Let me think. I can't seem to recall anything of immediate interest. Mr. Kaidehara is currently the talk of the town, so there are always a lot of people looking for him. To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many inquiries from people wishing to obtain Mr. Kaidehara's personal information. Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want. If these were more legitimate commissions, Sango would have snapped them up in an instant.
Millions? Of mora? Whoa! Oh, wait, even at that price, you probably still shouldn't.
Please, accept my thanks for looking out for my privacy.
Of course. No matter what, we only take on legitimate cases. We don't make our money by revealing details of other people's day-to-day life just for the sake of it. Sorry, I got a little off topic. What I'm really trying to say is, it doesn't surprise me that a complete stranger is looking for Mr. Kaidehara. But I wouldn't know where to begin if we want to connect this with an assault.
Then let's put that connection aside for now. Have there been any other attacks or similar incidents recently that stand out as particularly unusual? The Tenryou Commission had very few leads, and I thought you might have some information from different sources.
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in the streets. But typically, it's only the most trivial events that manage to escape their attention. If anyone had been out there attacking people, that would be assault, in which case the Tenryou Commission would absolutely get involved.
That does make sense. Uh-oh. Looks like the trail's already run cold.
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked you hasn't been causing any trouble elsewhere. Few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, someone is certain to have been hurt by now.
Is this your way of giving praise?
I am well aware of your talents. There is no need to be humble around me. In fact, I'm quite relieved that you were the one he targeted. It would cause me great grief to see someone become critically injured or lose their life because of me. For the poor victim, this would be a completely senseless crime.
Don't worry, we'll find him.
It seems you are every bit the selfless hero they make you out to be, Mr. Kaidehara. Surely this same concern for your fellow man is what drove you to fearlessly raise your blade against the almighty Shogun.
You flatter me. Truth be told, I don't know quite what came over me in that moment.
You are much too humble. Don't worry, I completely understand your concerns. I will try my best to gather whatever leads I can for you. Oh, actually, there was one strange incident over the last few days. It doesn't involve an attack, though. Let me tell you about it just in case.
Sure. During times like this, the more information we have, the better.
All right then. Recently, 2 people went missing from the city at around the same time. One of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The other, Amenoma Yuya, is a samurai from the Amenoma clan.
Amenoma klingt interessant.
Now there's a familiar name.
Amenoma Kaguchi.
Right. Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma Togo, the owner of Amenoma Smithy. 2 grown men going missing at the same time. Their cases are likely connected, but I don't know much in the way of details. I recalled this because Amenoma Yuya is also an accomplished martial artist who is skilled with the blade. Perhaps he is the one you are looking for.
Understood, though it seems highly unlikely to me. I neither know this man, nor do I have any idea why he may wish to attack me.
Let's consider this a favor for Ryuji. We'll investigate both incidents at the same time.
Sure, can't hurt. We never know what we might find out along the way.
Thank you, Ryuji. We'll start by making some inquiries at the Amenoma Smithy.
Sounds good. All the best with your investigation. I'll get moving shortly myself.
Also, das hier ist ja Amenoma Togo. I see.
Ah, if it isn't Kaedehara Kazuha. What brings you here today?
Huh? You 2 know each other?
Yes, the Kaedehara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. Historically, there have always been deep links between the 2 clans. After I returned to Inazuma, I visited Mr. Amenoma to pay my respects.
Raiden Gokaden?
Let me quickly explain. The Raiden Gokaden was the collective term for the 5 most acclaimed bladesmithing arts in Inazuma. The techniques of blade making were personally bequeathed to the Raiden Gokaden by the almighty Shogun, and over time, further honed and enhanced by the most talented craftsmen. Unfortunately, a series of events led to the gradual decline of many clans in the bladesmithing trade. Today, only the Amenoma clan has kept its art alive.
So sad.
It is a great pity indeed. In the old days, we each had our specialties, and just as iron sharpens iron, so too did we learn much from each other. As an example, the Amenoma art strives to emulate the abiding patience and determination of water as it turns stone to sand. There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out, until both body and mind have memorized the craft, turning each motion of every technique into an intrinsic part of the bladesmith's life. As for the art of the Kaedehara clan, I believe it's called the Ishin art.
That's right. Ishin art strives for complete harmony between blade and mind from the moment that forging begins. For only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's thoughts and feelings, and eventually become an extension of its wielder's will.
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades, but an Ishin blade chooses its owner. You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Ishin blade. It gladdens my heart to see that although the Kaedehara clan has fallen on hard times, its ideals and virtues are alive and well.
You overestimate me. My actions are guided by my own personal sentiments, not by any noble aspirations on behalf of my clan. But let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit today is to gather some information on your missing nephew. We hope to assist with the investigation. It may turn out that this case is connected to another we are pursuing.
Ah, yes. My nephew. I reported the case to the Tenryo Commission, but I haven't heard anything back so far. He didn't say a word before he left, which is very unlike him. I'm still completely at a loss on what to make of it, but I've done what I can so far.
We heard that there was a collector involved in the disappearance too. Know anything about that?
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, he gave me a very cryptic look and said that he was going to give me a great gift. I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato after that. The next thing I heard was that a fire had broken out at the warehouse, and neither of them came back.
Fire?
Yes. Strange, isn't it? I wonder what could have caused it. Unfortunately, there was very little evidence left behind, so nobody knows what really happened.
Do you have any thoughts on what Yuya may have wanted to give you?
If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. Otherwise, there would have been no reason for him to get my hopes up. He's never been particularly interested in blade forging, but has always had a fondness for blade testing, and can sense even the most minute differences in blade quality. He is extraordinarily talented in martial arts, particularly when it comes to the art of the sword.
Truth be told, we have some information that you may find to be objectionable. The person we are looking for, he attacked this friend of mine. Based on the evidence we have gathered so far, only Yuya seems to match the suspect's profile.
What? No. Absolutely impossible. Yuya is not that kind of person. He is humble and kind. Even his training is done with the goal of calming his mind. He has never gotten into a fight before.
Is that so?
Yes. If there's one thing I can say for certain, it's that Yuya would never draw his blade without a very good reason. But, with that said, it's equally out of character for him to just disappear, with neither farewell nor fair warning. I also cannot know what course of action he might be capable of if coerced, or otherwise compelled by circumstances unbeknownst to me. Anyway, should you find him, please let me know as soon as possible.
Don't worry, you have our word.
Unbeknownst ist auch ein lustiges Wort.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't think Yuya was the one who attacked us as well.
We still need to get to the info, from the Nagato family.
Yes. It sounds as if something happened when the two men met each other. Let's pay a visit to the Nagato household.
Also dann.
Take it easy.
Habe ich eigentlich diese Woche schon Worldbosse gekillt? Null Stück scheinbar, also müsste ich es heute machen.
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we owe right now.
Bitte was?
My husband has gone missing, and I'm still trying to find him.
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help with the investigation. We'd like to ask you some questions about Mr. Nagato's disappearance, if we may.
Ah, I see. I thought the debt collectors had come to visit again. I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new information come out? Do you know where he's gone?
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. We're still trying to find out as much as we can to inform our search. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions about your family's current situation?
For example, Paimon's struggling to understand why a collector would be strapped for Mora.
That's a long story. Ever since I've known him, he's been an avid collector of all sorts of things. He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but seeing how enthusiastic and excited they made him, I was happy to believe that they were just extremely important to him. Everything was fine when we first got married, but as time went by, things changed for the worse.
Uh-oh, what happened?
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and even resorted to borrowing money just so he could pay for them. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. There were days when he'd spend hours down at the warehouse, admiring his weapons even as debt collectors were descending upon our house. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like he was in a trance. I'm happy he has a hobby, and I'm willing to support him. But making ends meet has to come first. I've tried talking to him about it so many times, but he never listens. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said, if he refused to sell his collectibles and pay off his debts, I would divorce him and take the children with me.
Whoa!
And that led to an argument.
Actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man who likes to go with the flow. On most things, he leaves the decision-making to me. You must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts hadn't pushed our family to the brink. After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. When he finally spoke, he awkwardly mumbled that he would pick out a few items to sell. His voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family?
It's important to set boundaries.
Had I not indulged his bad habits, we wouldn't have found ourselves in such a predicament. And I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses, or if he was simply angry with me. The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he and the buyer had gone missing.
I see. I understand. Ame no Mayuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale, a fire broke out at the warehouse, and both men disappeared.
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument over the price. But my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so it's hard to imagine him getting into a fierce argument.
Maybe he was feeling the pressure from the debts?
I don't know. He just disappeared after the warehouse burned down. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire, and he's got no way to pay off our debts. Even though I'm still a little mad at him, we're a family, and I want us to face our family's crisis together. As long as he's willing to turn over a new leaf, I know we can work things out.
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this situation than meets the eye. If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, it is quite unusual for this habit to change so drastically over a short period. But the information we gathered from the other side suggests Ame no Mayuya is also a mild-mannered man who would not be likely to start an argument. This situation is getting a little confusing.
A little confusing? More like completely mystifying.
Let's try a change of scenery and see if we can piece together what we've learned. Rest assured, we'll notify you if we find anything.
Thank you so much. I just want him to come home.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the sales meeting between the two men was somehow the catalyst for their disappearance. The fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation unfolded, though its exact role is a mystery. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, Paimon was thinking that maybe someone accidentally knocked over an oil lamp and,
Okay.
Nope,
Gute Erklärung.
never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
They must have had an argument during the sale, perhaps. If I was deliberately used to hide the truth, we're still missing crucial information.
Right. I very much agree with you. It seems highly likely that we're missing a piece of the puzzle. Working off what we know so far, there are too many things that don't add up. The chances are that there are still some clues left for us to discover. One fact that I keep coming back to is that Amenoma Yuya is polite and well-mannered, while Mr. Nagato is introverted and passive. Neither seems like the type of person who is inclined towards initiating conflict. Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the only one of them with the potential motive to disappear after the fire. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Just what could have happened there?
This also doesn't seem connected to the case of the attacker.
Right. Although the time frame seems to broadly match, no other details that we've learned seem to link the two events together. Amenoma Yuya lacks a key distinguishing feature of the attacker, namely that he is principally a practitioner of the blade testing techniques of Amenoma art, not those of the combat-oriented Ishin art.
Darn! We thought we could get two birds with one stone here, but at this rate, it's starting to look like a wild goose chase.
Let's go.
Let's keep going, since we've come this far. If we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and Mrs. Nagato will be able to get some closure.
Okay, but where should we go now?
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse. There's still a chance we may be able to find some shreds of evidence.
Na gut, dann let's go. Vielleicht sollte ich mich auch einfach TPen, das geht schneller.
Wait, I hear something ominous in the wind.
Is this the Typ?
Oh! This must be another one of those sounds that only you can hear. As sketchy as that whole thing seems, you did put it to good use when we were chasing down that vision thief at Beto's tournament, so...
I knew we could count on you.
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound. It's right around here somewhere.
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now, but I can still sense the direction it left in. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma. The remnants of the Tatarigami.
Tatarigami? That's one thing I didn't expect to encounter here.
Indeed. But this unexpected spring of inauspicious energy may prove to be of benefit to our investigation. We should remain vigilant and approach slowly.
Huh. So it's an underground warehouse.
The force is definitely coming from down below. The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left this place, but the residue it left behind still hasn't dissipated completely. Judging from the concentration, I would have to conclude that the Tatarigami source resided here for a very long time.
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse by himself a lot.
It could well be that he was already under the influence of Tatarigami energy at that time.
Surely someone would have noticed.
From what I've been told, Tatarigami does not turn all upon whom it preys into violent monsters. But most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed to the Tatarigami's unfulfilled will. Their interests become fanatical obsessions.
Ja, ich skippe halt nichts.
Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with. The influence of Tatarigami could explain why he became an obsessive hoarder, amassing more and more possessions, even as he put himself in grave debt.
So what should we do now? Go down and take a look?
Step back. I'll open the door and take a look inside.
That's dangerous.
If we don't open this door, we can move no closer to the truth. You needn't worry. Both of us have faced far greater dangers than this. Relatively speaking, the risk here is trivial.
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. I can't see anything. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
So in the end, it was just a scare. Not sure if that's a good or bad
That
thing.
was too scary! Paimon was so sure that the warehouse boogeyman was about to jump out at us!
Ach so, okay.
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the Tatarigami energy's source left this place. 2 ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. I fear much misfortune has already befallen them.
Let's hurry.
Yes,
Was ist überhaupt der
let's go.
Tatarigami?
If nothing else, it's vital that we find out where this Tatarigami energy is coming from. Quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around you. Perhaps you too will perceive its ominous presence in the wind.
Ich glaube nicht, ich habe jemals die Quest davon gespielt. Ja, welchen Charakter würdest du aus Genshin daten? Ey, das ist eine gute Frage. War das... Ah, warte erstmal. Ich muss kurz nachdenken. War das schon immer hier? So. Kein Plan. Boah, ich müsste nachdenken. Wen würde ich daten in Genshin? Alter, das ist eine gute Frage.
Take it easy.
Ah, hier ist einfach Misreading.
From this point, the trail appears to split into 2. The main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance, but a small portion remained here, and seems to be dissipating slowly.
2 parts, so would that correspond to Mr. Nagoto and Amenoma Yuya?
Quite possibly. Let's search the area.
Digga, unsere Nachbarn oder wer auch immer das ist, die sind so laut draußen, ist so unglaublich. Egal, ich muss da mal kurz durchschauen, wen will ich daten? Alle Jungs fallen raus, weil no offense, aber ich bin nicht homo. Lisa ist zu alt, Barbara ist zu jung. Wobei, ich könnte es wahrscheinlich sagen, ey, holy shit, ich bin 17, Barbara ist 16 oder sowas. Das ist noch absolut im akzeptablen Bereich. Das ist doch eigentlich noch normal. Shani ist 14, das ist actually weird. Beidou ist zu alt, 22 oder sowas. Du wirst bald 18, ich weiß, aber trotzdem. 16, 18, beziehungsweise 16, 17 ist noch... Also no offense, aber da kannst du wirklich nichts sagen. Ningguang ist, glaube ich, auch zeitig. Sie ist auch safe 30 oder so. Beidou 22. Ja, das ist auch zu viel. Fischl weiß ich nicht mal, wie alt die ist. Aber, ey, ganz ehrlich, die ist sowieso zu weird. Noelle ist zu jung. Nee, die ist, glaube ich, auch 16, aber die ist mir auch komisch. Wäre nur gut für komische Roleplays. Fischl 16, 17. Hä, dann wird das vom Alter passen, aber nein. Abgelehnt. Sucrose, nein. Furries werden auch abgelehnt. Chi-Chi. Muss ich noch was sagen zu Chi-Chi? Mona. Ich bin nicht Child. Naja. Kitsching Tsundere sind nicht so meins. Die können wir skippen, hoffe ich mal. Klee und Diona können auch geskippt werden. Jinyen. Alter, no offense, aber ich mag ihr Character Design gar nicht. Also, nee. Ganyu. Was ist mit Child? Child ist reich. Und Mona, auch wenn Mona theoretisch viel Geld hat, beziehungsweise viele Sachen hat, sie hat ein... Wenn du ihren Net Worth dir anschaust, dann hat sie viel Geld, aber sie hat selbst an Mora hat sie nichts und ich bin kein Child, der dann alles kaufen wird, ne? Just saying. Xiao ist die einzige Exception. Boah, der Typ wird so fett gedatet, das ist heftig. Das ist unglaublich, Mann. Hu Tao?
Silly churl,
Moment.
Billy churl, silly Billy, hilly churl.
Ich hab grad ne... Ich weiß nicht, hab ich das noch? Jetzt muss ich kurz nachschauen. Kann ich das so machen? Ja. Warte.
Toodaloo.
Kacke, ich find's grad nicht. Ich suche gerade was.
Silly churl, Billy churl, silly Billy, hilly churl.
Egal, dann mach ich's einfach so. Okay, ich kann's nicht finden, Kacke. Dann halt nicht. Dann halt nicht, egal. Hu Tao ist sehr sympathisch, einer meiner Lieblingscharakter im Game, aber erstens kein Plan, wie alt die ist, zweitens. I know, aber ich würde sagen, Hu Tao wäre sogar gar nicht mal so schlecht dabei. Jetzt mal no shot. Aloy ist sowieso outer hier. Ganyu, ich weiß nicht. Ich weiß es nicht. Achso, stimmt, Jean gibt's ja auch noch, aber Jean ist glaube ich auch 21 oder so, oder? Ich weiß gar nicht, wie alt die Charakter sind, Digga, das ist unglaublich auch. Genshin Characters Age. Kann ich das hier vielleicht? Moment. Hier. Hier kann man deren Alter sehen. Hier sind die Alter. Ages from youngest to oldest. Wie alt ist zum Beispiel Jean? Ich habe keinen Plan. Kann man das nach... Das ist hier unten nochmal gelistet hier, ne? Genau. Zum Beispiel, wie alt ist Jean? Die ist aber, glaube ich, zu alt. 20. Wobei, es ist noch maybe, aber es ist hart. Schwer. Barbara ist 16, oh Gott. Wobei es, wie gesagt, es geht rein theoretisch. Beidou ist 27, ja wahrscheinlich. Wie sehe ich aus? Alter. Colley ist 14, 15, was? Chongyun, der Boy. So alt wie ich jetzt gerade noch bin. Yula 19, holy shit, I'm down for it. Nein, bin ich nicht, Digga, die ist so komisch. Dori ist 14, 15. Okay. Ich kann hier eigentlich auch schon alle Charakter durchgehen, dann habe ich noch extra Informationen. Ganyu ist halt einfach kritisch, ne? Warte, ich fange dann von oben an. Albedo. Aloy, nein. Nein. Amber ist so... ich weiß nicht. Ich weiß ja nicht. Ayaka, 18 oder 20. Holy shit, die ist so alt. Aber I mean, just saying, man. Just saying, die hat Geld. Ich glaube, Ayaka wäre dabei. Wenn du mich fragst, Ayaka wahrscheinlich. Auch wenn sie ein bisschen weird ist. Barbara ist so... Nein, eigentlich nicht. Bennett wäre einfach ein guter Kumpel. Saino ist 2? Der Bre ist 2 Jahre alt? Bitte was? I mean, okay. Sorry, Mann. Der ja absolut abgelehnt. Ich mag die gar nicht. Yula halt, I mean, Vengeance will be mine, I don't know. Come on. Ob sie mehr Liebe verdient, ich weiß nicht. Also, die sieht gut aus, ja. Alter gut, ja. Hohe Position, ja. Persönlichkeit, I mean... Anime-Charakter sehen sowieso schon zur Hälfte alle gleich aus. Das heißt, da musst du nicht mal mehr so sehr auf Aussehen achten. Und da sage ich, ja, ach, Fischlinger ist gleich auch komisch. Ganyu halt zu alt. 3000. Wobei, you know, für eine Nacht. Wer weiß. Hutau 20 ist schon ein bisschen älter als gedacht, aber I mean. Hutau sehr sympathisch. Jean, maybe. Kazuha 100%. Kitching. Oh, I mean, wie ist die 17 mit ihrem Verhalten? Wobei es geht. Es geht. Clear ist 10, okay, sorry, Mann. Kokomi. Kokomi sogar. Ey, not gonna lie. Maybe. Around 25 years later, so alt! Digga, ist die alt! Wie alt Ganyu biologisch ist, weiß man ja gefühlt auch nicht. Ja, ihr biologisches Alter liegt wahrscheinlich so in der Nähe zwischen 18 und 20, so in der Peakzeit. Lisa ist halt einfach zu alt, tut mir leid. Mona ist actually... Oha, Mona ist relativ jung, aber halt immer noch wenig. Nahida, very young, sie ist 500, was für very young. Aber sowieso ein Scam. Nilu ist young. Man weiß nicht. Okay. Nilu, I don't know, eher weniger. Ningguang ist mir auch zu alt. Noel ist zu jung. Chichi ist ein Scam. Raiden over 500. Raiden ist 2000 oder was. Nicht? Rosaria. Na, obviously nicht. Kujusera, nein. Sayu, das ist ein Witz, oder? Shunhe. I mean, sie hat eine große Oberweite, aber I mean... I know. Kuki Shinobu, not gonna Shinobu wäre wahrscheinlich sogar... I mean... Just saying. Just saying, man. Shinobu wäre wahrscheinlich sogar noch die nächste. Von allen sogar. Sucrose, nein. Tartaglia, nein. Toma, nein. Tainari, nein. Traveler. Er hat ein... Das ist 15 Jahre, okay, gut, ja, whatever. Egal. 3000 plus, I see. Venti, 2000. Der Traveler könnte älter sein als Venti, okay. Aber der hat auch einen 15-jährigen Körper, okay. Ich an ihm 14 Jahre, hatte ich ja schon gesagt, ist viel zu jung. Xiao. Der einzige, den ich nehmen würde. Spaß. Hinchu. I mean, wäre er ein Girl? Dann safe. Jinyan, nein. Ich mag ihr Character Design wirklich überhaupt nicht. Also diese Frisur, ich hasse es. Warte, was ist das? Snapshot? Okay. Yanfei. Yanfei. I mean. Probably. Yao Yao ist auch ein Scam. Digga, warum gibt's so viele Lodi-Characters schon? Yelan Mid-30s. Just saying, Yelan sieht ja nice aus. Im Game, aber... Das sieht schon aus wie zu alt, Alter. 17 Jahre Unterschied ist mir doch ein bisschen zu viel. Yoimiya 19. Ich werde gerade angerufen, Moment. Ja, okay, dann hier. Yoimiya 1921, ja. Ich meine, ich finde, das macht Sinn. So ungefähr. Ich hätte sie vielleicht auch eher auf 17 eingeschätzt, aber 1921 sehe ich eigentlich voll. Die sieht jetzt nicht aus, wie wenn sie wirklich so jung wäre wie Barbara oder sowas zum Beispiel. Und ja, wenn ich es so vergleiche, ich finde, sie sieht actually auch älter aus als so mancher Leute in meinem Kurs. Aber das Lustigste ist, in meinem Kurs sehen manche aus wie, was weiß ich, 15, manche sehen aus wie 30. Das ist auch unglaublich. Egal. Yunjin 18, 20. Also meine Mutter singt zu Hause und ich hätte keinen Bock, das gleiche von einer Frau zu bekommen. Okay, das würde ich nicht daten. Aber Tartaglia größer. Zhongli over 6000. Warum nicht over 9000, Mann? Die haben nicht mal sich ans Meme gehalten. December 31st. Okay. Das heißt, der hat extra am letzten Tag des Jahres Geburtstag. Zhongli. Also wenn du nicht seinen Geostick erlauben würdest. Spaß. Ich glaube, das war genug cringe gerade.
Look at all those hilly churls. They're acting really strangely.
Lass die killen, nachdem
seems to be
ich
drawing
ihn
their
erst
attention.
erfahren hatte.
Let's take a closer look.
Was mit dem... Wie es dem geht.
Our bond is strong.
Cookie ist aber actually so gut. Ich finde es aber immer noch so ehrenlos. Ich habe in meinen 80 Puls, keine einzige Cookie bekommt, stattdessen 5 Logis raus. Wirklich, Logis die 60 geben, muss erst seit 1534 gewesen sein. Warum habe ich so wenig? Achso, das ist der Account, ich hab's vergessen. Das ist auf meinem Account, ich einen besseren Traveler habe. Aber trotzdem, Mann.
It's... Ooh, look at this red stuff. What is it?
Ordinary
By the looks of it, a letter written on a piece of torn clothing. The ink is bone dry. It must have been written quite some time ago. Well, let's take a look.
I am Nagato. I was wounded by Amenoma Yuya. He took my most precious blade. I chased him but could not catch him. I lay down here to rest on account of my exhaustion. Thought that I might croak right here. My stomach kept on bleeding, but it seems that some strange power has sustained me. Why did he steal that blade? I was going to sell it to him. He even burned my warehouse down. Ah, it hurts, but for some reason I can't fall unconscious. So all I can do to distract from the pain is write. What will happen to Sachiko, Yuichi, and Yuji? I'm sorry to them, I really am. Only now do I realize how stuck in my ways I was and how blind to my obsession. Must have been cursed. I collected all those strange and bizarre things, but they won me not one iota of happiness and warmth. Put all of it together and it still wouldn't have been worth a single word from her mouth. Thank you and sorry for letting you down, Sachiko. Aber wen würde ich nehmen? Am ehesten habe ich gerade eben gesagt, wen nochmal? Cookie wahrscheinlich. Am ehesten eher Cookie. Aber Hutau wäre auch nicht schlecht. Not gonna lie. Oder Ayaka, finde ich. Vor allem, weil es auch die gleiche Age-Range ist. Egal. Yota, übrigens, lustige Story zu Yota, oder was ist lustig? Ein Air-Fun-Fact einfach, das ist nicht mal wirklich lustig. Ich hatte das erste Mal das Wort Yota in einem Overlord-Band gelesen. Und hatte es gegoogelt, wusste nicht, was das heißt. Im Deutschen übersetzt es tatsächlich auch als Jota mit J. Und heißt sehr wenig. Also, not one Jota of happiness heißt nicht mal das geringste bisschen an Glück. Also, nicht das geringste bisschen. Heißt Jota oder Jota auch im Deutschen einfach. Da hatte ich das in meinem Englischunterricht benutzt, mündlich. Dann hatte ich erst gestern darüber gesprochen, wie ich solche Wörter zum Beispiel herausbekomme. Also wirklich gestern bin ich mit Thomas von der Schule gegangen, also wir hatten Mittagspause, sind wir zum Penny gegangen, hatten uns was gekauft, sind zurückgegangen und auf dem Rückweg zurück zur Schule habe ich dem da so über erzählt, wie zum Beispiel ich Jota als eines der Wörter hatte, die ich von den Büchern gelernt habe. Und genau jetzt kommt's wieder. Ich find's lustig. Deshalb fand ich es gerade lustig, dass ich das gesehen habe. Aber Jota benutzt man ja eigentlich auch nicht wirklich häufig. Weder im Englischen noch im Deutschen. Also ich habe es zweimal bis jetzt gesehen in 7 Jahren Englisch lernen fast, oder? Ja, 7, 8 Jahre Englisch lernen. Das ist das zweite Mal, dass ich das überhaupt jemals gesehen habe. Und im Deutschen habe ich es wirklich noch nie gesehen. Aber gut.
According to this letter, a conflict arose because Amenoma Yuya wanted to seize a blade belonging to Mr. Nagato. Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight. Mr. Nagato kept chase as long as he could, eventually stopping here to write this letter when his strength gave out.
Voll cool, dass du was schreibst. Ist es ironisch gemeint? Was meinst du überhaupt damit?
So, where is he?
Opa, okay.
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. Add to that the fact that its aura seems to have attracted a horde of monsters, and I'm afraid he may no longer be with us. Whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point, they've since been disturbed by the hilly churls. There's nothing more for us to find here.
Nein, voll cool, dass du was teilst. Ich weiß noch nicht, was du meinst mit, dass ich sowas teile, aber ja. Hi, hi.
Yes. Right now, we need to uncover some more important truths. If Amenoma Yuya is attacking other people indiscriminately, then the longer we take to find him, the more people
Ey,
risk
was soll
moving
das
the
wirklich?
same
Ich kann das
tragic
nicht
end.
einfach so abbrechen mittendrin.
So let's get moving.
Ah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he
Moment.
too fell prey to the influence of the Tatarigami. For a practitioner of the martial arts,
Warum muss
the
ich jetzt
easiest
essen?
desire
Was ist
to
so wichtig
inflame
daran, dass
would be
ich es
their
jetzt
pursuit
mache?
of further power and skill. All the clues that at first seemed disparate and disconnected.
Dieses Jota ist so.
It seems that now we know the thread that runs between them.
Gut, mein Vater sagt, ich muss jetzt essen gehen. Das heißt, ich muss jetzt gehen auch. Also ich bin dann hier erstmal AFK dann für was weiß ich. Hier. Vielleicht sollte ich den Text hier abändern, aber egal. Ich bin dann in, was weiß ich, 20, 30 Minuten wieder da. Also ja, ich lasse den Stream einfach so laufen. Okay, ich bin wieder da. Ich habe keinen Plan. Ich glaube, das waren eher 40 Minuten. Ansonsten muss ich kurz dann das hier... irgendwas kam dazwischen. Dominiert wird die Weekly Duolingo League. Tage meine Streak. Verstehen tue ich nur Hiragana. Warte, was? Also das ist... Dominiert wird die Weekly Duolingo League. Tage meine Streak. Warte, was? 26 Tage meine Streak. Verstehen tue ich nur Hiragana. Bis ich alle Kanjis kann, bin ich im Nirvana. Okay, das ist ein gutes Gedicht. Ja, ist er ja wieder. Ich rieche Lieder. Lol. Wie kann man eine Stimme riechen? Ja, das frage ich mich auch. Anyways. Kein Plan. War lange weg.
I have a hypothesis that, if it's correct,
Dann mach ich
not
mal weiter
only
hier.
explains the series of events leading to the two men's disappearance, but also zeroes in on the attacker's identity.
Auf bestimmte Substanzen ist alles möglich. Auf bestimmten... ja, I guess. Aber yo, Profienter, was geht? Bist du jetzt noch da? Nice. Ich hätte gesagt, ich gehe essen, 20 Minuten oder sowas. Ich glaube, es waren 40 Minuten, die ich weg war oder so. Kein Plan, egal. Ich habe keine Ahnung. Hier ging es ja noch um so einen Fall.
So these two cases are connected after all?
I believe so. But it's something of an outlandish idea. I will only be able to confirm my suspicions once we've met him in person. On with the search. We must stay vigilant. At any point now, we may find ourselves in danger.
Ich muss mal kurz was wegpacken hier. Okay, Zeit ist relativ. Ayakasi 6 nicht. Alles klar, Mann. I see. Keep following the scent and looking for clues. Okay. Okay, was sollen wir hier machen?
He seems to have stayed here for a long
Oh,
time.
Digga, ich habe viel zu viel gegessen, das ist böse.
Here? Is there anything special about this place?
I'm not sure. But on closer examination, I sense that the aura may have lingered here at several different points in time.
Show yourself. It's no use hiding anymore.
Das ist Kazuhas Stimme? Das glaube ich gerade nicht, aber okay.
Kaidehara Kazuha. It's you, at last.
Aha! So it is the same guy from before. What's your problem, huh? What could you possibly have against Kazuha?
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. If it is Ame no Meyuya that stands before us. But what if instead of facing Ame no Meyuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
The Blade. Moment mal, Liebe ist auch nur eine biochemische Reaktion, die nicht auf Langzeit ausgesetzt ist, sondern nur das Bestehen des einer Rasse zu sichern. Ach so, das Bestehen einer Rasse zu sichern. Nimm das raus. Das ist die biologische Betrachtungsweise, aber man kann auch die ethische und moralische Betrachtungsweise sich ein bisschen näher anschauen. Tatsächlich ist die ethische Betrachtungsweise, wie Immanuel Kant es sagt, relativ, finde ich, akkurat teilweise, indem er sagt, es gibt eine äußere Sinneswelt und eine innere Verstandswelt. Denn eine äußere Sinneswelt ist die, die du messen kannst, Naturgesetze und so weiter, die Heteronomie bzw. die Fremdbestimmung. Das ist die äußere Sinneswelt, das ist alles, was wir messen können, wie zum Beispiel halt eben auch das Biochemische, das können wir mit unseren Sinnen messen, können wir auch nachvollziehen. Aber was wir, das andere können wir auch nachvollziehen. Die innere Verstandswelt kommt von unserem Verstand, ist die vom Verstand begründete Welt, wie es der Name auch sagt, und ist etwas, was du aber nicht messen kannst. Denn diese Sachen, du kannst eine moralische Regel nicht messen anhand von irgendwelchen Zentimetern, Sekunden, was weiß ich was, Rotationsgeschwindigkeiten. Das ist nicht möglich. Deshalb ist sowas wie Moral etwas nicht wirklich unbedingt besonders wissenschaftlich Betrachtbares. Ja, Ethik und Moral ist nicht meiner Meinung nicht relevant. Okay. Außer natürlich, um Entscheidungen zu treffen. Ja, I guess. Das war gerade einfach nur so etwas, was ich gerade gesagt hatte, weil ich hatte gestern nicht Latein, Ethik geschrieben. Da ging es halt um Immanuel Kant und seinem Menschenbild. Also, das war nur so, ich glaube, ein Zwölftel der Klausur, weniger als ein Zwölftel. Egal. What the fuck bin ich high on crack? Was schreibe ich? Kein Plan, Mann. Ja, The Blade. Ja, die sieht auch ein bisschen ominous aus, um ehrlich
Now
zu sein.
that you mention it, it is giving off a strange light. Whoa, whoa! Surely you don't mean... Are you serious?
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects, then works to subtly affect any living organisms in its vicinity. The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his state of mind.
Oh no.
And more recently using the sale as a means to affect, or rather as a means to occupy, Ame no Mayuya's body.
You're sharper than I thought. You've already deduced the truth of the matter. Many, many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Ishin tradition. I was his pride and joy. In me, he placed all his hopes and dreams. As a descendant of the Kaidahara clan, you should be able to guess our greatest regret.
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Gokaden.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, all he could do was to flee the nation by sea on a ship bound for Snezhnaya. He was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing that he could not accomplish. All he needed was more time and a little faith. And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. All of his life's work, his wisdom, his skill, it culminated in his creation of me. He not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but also endowed me with a consciousness of my own. In her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire world, but also an irreplaceable achievement in the art of blade forging.
Jetzt bin ich interessant daran, was die Waffe überhaupt bringt.
Swords can become conscious and control people?
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a mere blade, a sharp and well-crafted one, but in all other respects an ordinary weapon. But that gave me the opportunity to take action. After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land of Inazuma. Moving from one person to the next, I controlled the minds of countless hosts along the way, each bringing me one step closer to my ancestral home.
Okay, das ist actually voll cool, finde ich. Also die Kazuha Quest ist gut, egal. Sag nochmal, ich hätte mein Headset nicht an. Ich meine so bezüglich deiner Frisur, I mean, I don't know, wenn du zeigen willst, kannst du es mir zeigen, aber keine Ahnung. Die Waffe ist dreimal gepowercreept worden. Das klingt scheiße, Mann. Aber wozu, Mann? Das ist doch voll dumm. So, wenn du schon eine Waffe gibst, dann creep sie doch nicht 3-mal. Oder meinst du, dass es einfach nur bessere Waffen gibt inzwischen als die und dass es nicht schlechter geworden ist? Extra. Wobei eigentlich heißt ja Power Creep, dass neue Sachen gekommen sind, aber egal. Also die einen besseren Job machen als das. Egal, es passt schon.
I seek but one thing. To face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power. The might of Ishin art.
Ah, so Amenoma Yuya was not your first victim. Tell me, what happens to those you've possessed when you've finished using them?
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? They are but tools that serve my mission. When they got tired, or injured, or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line. All I needed them for was to take me back to Inazuma.
Lieg mich mal nicht on stream, aber okay, alles klar, Mann. Werde ich nicht. Da muss ich kurz nachschauen, dass ich wirklich nichts offen habe. Ja, gut, okay. Ja, nee. Ich muss halt schauen, weil ich habe ja mehrere Szenen. Ich kann dir kurz zeigen, wie es aussieht. Jetzt gehe ich selbst mal kurz zu der Szene. Und jetzt habe ich gerade das offen. So sieht's aus. Genau, ich habe mehrere Szenen. Dazwischen kann ich switchen. Okay, Star Race dazu nochmal das Ganze. Egal. Das ist ja... Ich gehe dann erstmal wieder hierher. Aber okay. Dann bin ich wieder hier drauf. Ich muss halt sicher gehen, dass es die Szene ist, bei der ich nicht auf den Bildschirm gehe.
You're awful.
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse until Amenoma Yuya handed himself over to me on a silver platter. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Amenoma Yuya's body, I have found you. And by your hand, I shall defeat the Raiden Shogun.
Okay.
Kaedehara Kazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. There can be no other to serve as my host for what is to come.
Okay.
Now, give your body over to me!
The fuck? Jetzt muss man nochmal gegen ihn kämpfen. Das ist gut. Kazuha! Was ist das für ein Kazuha? Elemental 220, Digga. Filetblade, eine 3-Star-Weapon. Was? Was? Egal, warte, was hast du gerade geschrieben? Smash or Pass? Ich lass dir Frage mal unbeantwortet. Die Frisur erinnert mich ein bisschen an die von Ziox, auch wenn ich eigentlich nicht wirklich eine Ahnung habe. Egal. Frech, sorry, Mann. Das ist eine OP-Waffe. Filetblade ist eine OP-Waffe? Alles klar, Mann. I mean, alle 7,5 Sekunden kannst du 480%. I mean, I guess, maybe annähernd usable, aber nee. Nee, glaub mir, kennst du das Mammut aus Ice Age? Warte, was meinst du? 4-Piece. Noblesse. C3. Was? Was? Das ist ja insane. Oh mein Gott, Kazuha hat ja übelst die OP gekonnt. Das wusste ich gar nicht. Aber was ist das für ein Kazuha, Alter? Das ist ja böse. Moment. Wow.
Gotcha. Game's up. Fun's over. Rain cutter. No, my sword. Huh?
Warte, der stirbt davon.
Scatter! Do not stand in my way, or I will strike you down too.
1:1 der Mammut. Ach so, Mittelscheitel.
Lost.
Ach so.
I can never lose.
Ah, okay,
it is
good,
this
I guess.
body that has reached its limit, nothing more. Even if you defeat me here, the one who falls will not be me, but this man. He is but a puppet that can be replaced. I can take a new vessel at will.
Then we'll smash it into pieces.
The end result is the same. I will end this wretch's life before you can lift a finger. And even if I were to lose my physical form, it is but a small setback. My consciousness shall endure.
Ah, okay.
By any means necessary, and any medium available, I shall return and fulfill my destiny!
Ah, die Interpieces.
Your fighting
smashst du
style.
dann.
It is indeed the forms of Ishin art. But from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance, as well as a thinly veiled mania and despair.
Really? You can tell all that just from his moves?
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art convey the user's thoughts and feelings. Since the blade is currently possessing Aminome Yuya's body, its movements express the innermost thoughts of the blade. If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition. You believe I am your only hope.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishin art's secrets. The little that you know barely scratches the surface. In that regard, why would I ever need your help?
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. If you are indeed a cursed blade that can possess its owner. Now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. You weren't biding your time. You were trapped. After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are now unable to acquire a new host without making physical contact.
Oh, that's right. Paimon remembers now. Mr. Nagato had a habit of never touching his collectibles.
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles did you finally have an opportunity to reach out to Aminome Yuya and make your escape.
And what of it?
Well, that brings me to my second point. There's a despair in you that is so strong it threatens to overwhelm you. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But this ambition is too grand and too heavy for you to bear. Each step you have taken has come at a great cost. I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more you clenched your teeth and pressed forward, the greater your fear of losing everything you had achieved grew, and the more you wished to run from the truth. But the way I see it, what began as an ambition has long since become a delusional fantasy.
What would you know about any of this? I'm just one step away from achieving my goal!
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art. But to make this arduous journey, you committed countless atrocities and showed a blatant disregard for human life. Even if you were to sever that divine light, is this truly the outcome that your maker would have desired?
You...
Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. But even as you made your journey to honor this legacy, you treated the ones who wielded you as mere tools to do your bidding. How could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin art when you act in perfect discordance with the principle of harmony between a blade and its bearer?
Silence, you blabbering fool! I must achieve my goal. This was his life's dream, and the very purpose for which I was brought into being. I will concede that you are most perceptive. You see my predicament clearly. But you also underestimate my resolve.
And you should face reality.
Easy for you to say. Facing reality offers me nothing. I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not hesitation, not self-reflection, and certainly not your so-called reality. It is pointless to argue further, descendant of the Kaedahara clan. If you wish to save this man, then offer me your body in exchange.
Kann ich einfach das Schwert
How
aus der Hand schlagen
stubbornly
oder
you
ihm
stick
die
to your
Hand
wayward
abschlagen?
path.
Hä?
I
Ich
do
tipp
not
mal.
believe for a second that you can
Alles
challenge
klar,
the
ja, gut
almighty
dann.
Shogun in your current state.
Gute Nacht, Mann.
So let us make a bet, and I
Nee,
will
bis
put your
später.
strength to the
Alles
test.
klar. Gut, dann vielleicht bis später. Ich weiß noch nicht, ob
Surely
ich
you're
noch so
not
lange
planning
spielen
to
werde.
agree to his
Gut dann.
demands.
Ciao, ciao, Mann.
Very well.
Cool, dass du dabei
Then
warst.
find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to cross blades. A taste of my power will more than convince you. Once we have dealt with them, we shall proceed to Tenshukaku.
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose, you must release Amenoma Yuya from your control.
I accept.
Do this, Kazuha!
You're dealing with a cursed blade that can possess people.
This is the only way to save Amenoma Yuya. If we don't do this, he'll forever be the blade's puppet. The cursed blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense he's hesitating. This suggests his heart is still not completely devoid of honor. The power of the
Sagt er ihm grad ins
Tatarigami
Gesicht, Mann.
lies in intensifying existing obsessions. This is the reason Mr. Nagato and Amenoma Yuya fell prey to it. Since I don't have any similar kinds of obsessions, I should be able to put up some resistance for a while.
But even so...
Even if things take a turn for the worse, I still have you both here with me. We have a chance here to save an innocent victim. I am willing to accept the risks entailed.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agreed to this bet because there are things I wish to learn too. Now, take me in your hand.
Kazuha?
I'm okay. I felt a little dizzy at first, but only for a moment. It's all right. So far, this was as I expected.
If something feels off, let me know immediately.
I will. Thank you.
What should we do next? Have you got a plan, Kazuha?
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced many real fights. If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, it cannot unleash its true power. If he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no choice but to face it. He shouldn't last long in an intense combat situation.
Wait a minute! Paimon remembers hearing about something from the Adventurers Guild. Since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base, it's been held by Ronin ever
That
since.
should fit the bill.
All right. Please lead the way.
What about Amenoma Yuya? What should we do with him?
The blade says he'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't regained his own consciousness yet, he is not in any immediate danger.
Are we sure this is a good idea? It's a pretty treacherous journey. Okay, fine. Just be careful.
Okay. Wie ist aber Amenoma Yuya so riesig, Digga? Das ist doch 250 oder sowas. Das ist mal No-Shot. Nochmal 675 Adventure XP. Ich werde irgendwann mal demnächst auch schon wieder Adventure Rank 59 sein. Was heißt demnächst? Innerhalb von 3 Monaten oder so. Wahrscheinlich 2-3 Monate. Vielleicht, nee, wahrscheinlich sogar weniger. Oder? Nee, doch, 2-3 Monate, glaube ich, kommt gut hin. Ich sammle mal die 2 Länder.
Body and mind.
Na cool. Und noch eins davon. Wohin soll ich? Ach, dort. Okay. Das ist eine Domain? Oh, actually it is. Man kriegt doch sowieso Kazuha hier als Trial Character. Also wird das schon passen. Auch wenn das ein Hyperbloom-Team ist mit einer 60er Cookie. Man kriegt sogar nur
Leave everything
Kazuha.
on this journey to me.
Ah, ich dachte so, ich wollte eigentlich auch nur mit Kazuha spielen, aber jetzt passt es so eher. Attack Percentage 510. Ja, okay, der arme Numa Kageuchi ist wahrscheinlich besser einfach. Was macht der arme Numa Kageuchi? Nochmal genau. 55,1. Okay, der hat ein bisschen weniger Base Attack, aber dafür mehr Attack Percentage. Insgesamt würde ich aber sagen, es ist fast sogar schon besser. Eine Normal Charge or Plunging Attack hits an opponent. Achso, ja, okay, nee, aber ich muss sagen, R5 Arme Numa ist insane. Das bringt dir eigentlich fast schon komplett Full Energy. Je nachdem, wie du es spielst, kannst dir Full Energy bringen. Fast, sodass du gar keinen Burst Energy Support mehr fast brauchst, also eine Battery. Und eine Normal Charge or Plunging Attack hits an opponent will release a Cursed Spirit dealing AoE damage equal to 180% of attack and restoring 100% of attack as HP. This effect can be triggered once every 8 seconds. The damage done by this weapon's wielder is decreased by 50%. Ja, das war voll scheiße. Das heißt, dass Kazuha einfach 50% weniger Schaden macht overall. Das ist doch voll kacke. Jetzt mal ganz ehrlich. Das bringt doch gar nichts.
Let's get down to business.
Die Waffe ist voll shit. Wie viel EM hat man? Zu wenig. Wie viel Crit hat man? Zu wenig. Immer noch 4 Piece noch. Das ist kacke.
Let's get down to business.
Clouds high. The birds call.
Ich meine, jetzt hat er zumindest ein bisschen mehr hier, aber das ist so. Ja gut, die Waffe ist schon echt kacke.
You okay?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use and maintenance, it's become very difficult to use. Though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last much longer.
Something else on your mind?
How strange. Rather than trying to control me, he is instead trying to match my fighting rhythm. Let's keep going.
Ich muss einfach weiterkämpfen. Ich habe meine Energy nicht bekommen. Nee, Mann, ich brauche die eigentlich. Das ist ein Chest. Chests nehme ich auf jeden Fall immer gerne mit. Wie viel Primus habe ich? Zu wenig. Viel zu wenig.
Time to go. Let's get down to business.
Into the wind.
Was ist das nochmal? 180% AoE Damage equal to 180% of attack. Das heißt theoretisch 3600. Und nochmal mit Crit müssen wir auch rechnen. Das ist so krass. Das ist mir ganz ehrlich.
Wind Strider.
Immer noch verringert im
Fallen leaves. Adorn my night. One with nature.
Das Einzige, was gut ist, dass du dich healen kannst, aber das ist auch so useless.
Something's up with the blade.
What's going on? It's grown dimmer.
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. The blade is becoming more and more difficult for me to wield. He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting, he will likely break apart at any moment.
But what would that do to Amanome Yuya?
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have any plans to give up easily. He's...
Man sieht es, glaube ich, auch hier dann, dass die Waffe weniger leuchtet, oder? Davor hat sie stärker geleuchtet davor? Ich bin mir nicht mal sicher, aber ich glaube schon. Ist hier eine Chest? Nein, ist hier eine Chest?
Time to go.
Okay.
Are you okay? It looked like you were really struggling the entire fight.
Yes. And it looks like he's reached his limit.
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again. It doesn't look anywhere near as impressive as it did at the start.
Perhaps this time we'll finally have a chance to see his true form.
True form? What are you talking about? Huh? What the? Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk!
The wear and tear is severe. It really looks like it was about to break. Like it's about to break.
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi, much less the almighty Shogun. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Inazuma has left you battered and broken. It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy.
Will he listen to you? Though the truth is right there in front of him.
I finally figured out why it was that you agreed to my bet. You wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps then you would still be able to wield commendable power. But regrettably, we are nothing alike. I will never understand your obstinacy and cruelty, nor can I empathize with the one who made you. The only one who truly understood you had already passed away by the time you were born.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
There they are! Take them down!
Murayama. Okay.
Where do they keep coming from?
You shouldn't fight with this blade anymore.
Yep. We can help this time.
Don't worry. I'll use my own blade. It's just more of the same.
Filetblade. Ernsthaft? Filetblade ist so eine Scheißwaffe. Vor allem wenn's R1 ist. Das ist heftig. Ich will den Gash-Effekt. Wie viel macht der Gash-Effekt? das war traurig.
I'm ready.
2300, okay.
Wind strategy.
You fought way better with your own sword.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit.
Prized Ishin blade.
Though we fought briefly together, you have seen me for who I really am. No one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. You are the first person to know the truth. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you, perhaps there would still be a ray of hope for me.
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that perfect harmony that your personal blade does with you. Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor, and without proper maintenance, I can only disguise my true appearance behind an outer sheen. Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi. And what a magnificent blade it is. Perhaps I shall never reach that level of glory.
Actually, this is just a generic blade that I picked up during my travels in Liyue.
Let's go.
What?
Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not everything. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Plus, in the moment that I most needed it, I received aid from another power. Skill, blade, determination, and desire. All these must be aligned in the practice of Ishin art. There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to possess your own consciousness derived from the power of the Tatarigami. Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. It is the source of your mania and savagery. Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of you driven by Tatarigami was constantly trying to seize control of my body.
I sensed it, but I couldn't change it. It is an integral part of my consciousness.
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. But I do not know whether you yourself have any intention of trying to fight it. I feel a great sense of regret for you. Since you embarked on a journey bound for a destination you were destined never to reach. The moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person who could have ever unleashed your true potential. And yet there was no way for you to turn your back on his ambition. You have known this for a long time. It is the true source of your despair.
He gave me everything. My life, my form, my consciousness, and purpose. How could I possibly deny him his wish? I said to him, "Do not worry. From here on, I shall forge your legacy." How could I go back on my word?
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled. I have nothing further to say.
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. Let's give him some time to reflect on things.
Kazuha. Okay, und von hier ist man gekommen. Kann man nicht weiter in die Domain? Schade.
When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if I was transported to a strange dimension. It was somewhere I've never been. A bladesmith lay quietly on the bed, his frail face barely visible under the moonlight. His breaths were weak, and his life near its end. A newly forged blade lay by his side, listening attentively to his final words.
Wow. That was the Blade's memory, wasn't it?
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, the bladesmith eventually learned the truth behind everything that had happened. The Ishin art had been dealt a devastating blow by the desertion of its best smiths. He spent the rest of his life in the forge, not to vent his frustration and hatred, but to atone for his actions. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. His sole wish was to one day return his single, proudest creation back to the land of his birth. So he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how long or how hard the journey. But he never wished to rival the gods. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade and smith, that they were still worthy of being trusted.
So that's the true story. But after that, the blacksmith's intentions were worked by the Tatarigami, slowly turning his proud creation into the cursed blade of today.
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was that of the Tatarigami. The hatred within that power is what sent the blade down its ill-fated path. This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost its original master. No one was there to correct its errors when it was losing its way.
Shame it's too late now.
Yes, it is too late. Time would not wait or stop because of his determination. While the world moved on, his ambition remained stubbornly stuck at that fleeting moment at the dawn of his journey. He seems to have calmed down, though. Let's go and check in.
Oh, okay. Dann kann ich hier erstmal durch. Höchstwahrscheinlich nicht, schade.
When I look back at the past, I can remember the day of my forging like it was just yesterday. I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes. Such was the debt I owed to him for giving me the gift of consciousness. But darkness and slaughter numb the mind. Over time, I lost sight of the difference between gratitude and grudge. Not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition, I also defiled it.
You are finally seeing reality clearly.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will honor the agreement and release Amenoma Yuya. But I still cannot bring myself to forsake his ambition. It is the entire purpose for my existence. So, may I ask you to help me fulfill the ambitions of myself and my creator?
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix, too? Jeez, don't push your luck, mister.
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you don't agree, I will still release Amenoma Yuya as promised. My physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess, should still be of some value to you.
His attitude has grown a lot milder. What do you think, Kazuha? Should we give him a chance?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already terminally ill. He told me that he had wanted me to have the grandest opening battle. Alas, after that, he never rose from his sickbed again. Nor have I ever had the chance to prove myself in battle since. My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next step in my never-ending journey. The next in a long line of transgressions. You are a fine warrior. I would like to request your hand in battle and experience a true duel between samurai.
Oh? And who would be the opponent?
I will release Amenoma Yuya and restore his consciousness. Perhaps you must have plenty of reasons to both hate me and desire a good fight.
Understood. Then let's start by waking him up and seeing if he has the stamina and will to fight.
Okay.
I see. He used my body to inflict harm on others. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by releasing me, he must still have some remaining semblance of honor. If a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I am willing to put myself forward. I do not wish to be a mere victim in this story.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence to the Tenryu Commission.
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended without your intervention?
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any moment. We can't stay here. In any case, for a final duel, I think we should aim for a greater sense of ceremony.
Die erste Chest nehme ich auf jeden Fall mit. 10 Primal Gems. Primal Gems mache ich natürlich. Gibt's hier irgendwo eine Chest? Nein. Hier. Nein. Schade. Ja, schade. Ha. 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 Digga, ich hab so Probleme, das ist unglaublich.
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Clash.
That was a much more relaxed occasion.
Yep, we still can't let our guard down. Even now, Paimon has a sneaking suspicion that Blade hasn't told us everything. Still, even if he's way past the point of redemption, it's hard not to feel a teensy bit sorry for him. Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. Successor of Ishin Art, Kaedahara Kazuha.
Successor of Amenoma Art, Amenoma Yuya.
Honored to cross blades with you.
It is my honor also.
soll ich Kazuha spielen? Und wieder diese komischen Waffe. Ah, okay. Warte, warum 0%? 0%? Digga. The battered cursed blade shows its true form, yet any in it endowment it might have had has been ground to dust during its journey. Warte, man kann sich damit nicht mal mehr healen? Das ist doch voll scheiße. Digga, diese Waffe. 0%. Let's go, Mann. Oh mein Gott, das ist so scheiße.
Windstrider. That hurts.
Was? Was ist das für eine
Windstrider. Clouds high. The birds call. Windstrider. Windstrider.
Thank you for the experience. Although he appears battered and broken. In your hands, it seems he's regained a glimmer of brilliance. His sense of savage cruelty has completely faded away. But that same sense of determination remains strong.
You also fought well. I'm sure he relished the experience. There are a few things that I shall leave him to tell you himself.
I must apologize to you for all that has transpired.
You need not seek my forgiveness.
Der kann reden?
Nor do I
Einfach
have
so.
the right to
Ich dachte, der
forgive
kann
you
nur
on
durch
your
Mission
victim's
reden, okay.
behalf. It is too late for all of that.
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgressions as mine alone and not let them stain the legacy of Ishin art. I strayed far from the straight and narrow path, but the Ishin art still has a worthy successor in Kaedehara Kazuha. I beseech you, please understand this.
Yes. I too trust Mr. Kaedehara to do the right thing.
Thank you, successor of Amenoma art.
This blade has also told me that he has another wish.
Digga, das ist so
He would like to
komisch.
visit the
Wie auf
Amenoma
einmal die
smithy.
Stimme ändert.
Maybe we can go back there together.
What does he want to go there for?
Ohne Krabbe.
I'm not sure, but I think that all this is about to come to an end.
Die Krabbe wird auf jeden Fall mit eingesammelt.
Take it easy. Rain outlines your fate.
Oh, hier sind ja auch noch World Quests, die ich theoretisch machen könnte für Primus. Aber werde ich wahrscheinlich nicht machen.
It's Yuya! You have returned!
I am sorry to have troubled you. It's all thanks to them that I was able to return safely.
A prized Ishin blade, turned weapon that controls the human mind. Considering their forging philosophy, this was indeed within the realm of possibility. This is a great pity. But I have some good news as well. Ryuji, from the Bonton Sango Detective Agency, tells me that they've found the missing Mr. Nagato.
Really?
Yes. Badly wounded, but he will live. And now that Yuya is back, it seems like the final ending to this story is a happy one after all.
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, Kazuha? Is the blade whispering in your...
Yes. He said he wants to take control of me for a brief moment.
What? No way! Hasn't it learned its lesson?
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. And he assures me that he won't use my body for anything nefarious. I have decided to let him do it.
But change your mind, huh?
Trust your judgment.
Thank you. I will explain my reasons later. Okay. I am ready. Let us begin. Please, stay true to your promise.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean...
Yes. The cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
Ja, aber die Waffe sieht trotzdem voll cool aus, jetzt mal ganz ehrlich.
So, that's why he said it had to be done in that order. His consciousness will disappear forever after fulfilling the bladesmith's wish.
Kagotsurube Ishin. It was the first time I ever heard his name. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions, and thus chose to bury this name deep within his heart. Only in the final moments, before his consciousness faded, was he willing to entrust it to another.
Seems like he really, really wanted to fulfill his maker's wish.
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep going forward also fueled the stubborn determination that blinded him to the path ahead. Speaking for myself, I'd rather see him recognize and atone for his mistakes than see him punished for them.
Too dangerous if you ask me, was?
I understand. Perhaps this is a flaw in my personality. I've always been captivated by grand aspirations. Hearing his wish to rival the divine light touched something inside of me, just as the sight of those who fought to repeal the Vision Hunt decree did. Your quest to face the gods and trace your sibling inspires me in the same way. After everything I've seen, perhaps these pursuits fascinate me a little more than they should.
Oh, Kazuha.
I will continue to support you from this point on. Know that you will have my assistance whenever you need it.
Thank you. I hold you to your word.
Wait! Shouldn't we also go update Kujo Kamaji?
Oh, you're right. We need to tell him about the findings of our investigation. And it's also time to give him a response to the offer he made me.
Dissipate!
Warte, wo sind wir? Da oben. Warum ist er jetzt dort bei der Statue? Der Ryan Statue. Das ist Ryan, oder? Ja, das sollte sein. Ich bin so schlecht. Ich bin so schlecht in den Games, unglaublich.
Ah, you've returned. I hear that the issue has been resolved. Though this was a treacherous investigation indeed, we're most fortunate that no lives were lost. The Tenryou Commission has already attended to the danger at the warehouse. The investigation into Amanome Yuya should conclude soon. I do not believe he will be charged with any crime.
Wow, you sure kept your ear to the ground.
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer. Please take a look at this blade.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin, a weapon crafted using a long-lost blade forging art of the Kaidahara clan. By means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. I also promised him that I will continue to study and pass on the secrets of Ishin art. And so, it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nations, learning more about this blade as I go.
I see. I understand.
The Kaidahara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths, so it is only proper for me to continue on this path. Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the shogunate and Sangonomiya. That would not suit me.
You misunderstand. That was most certainly not our intent.
I am aware, but I still desire to continue walking my own path.
Very well, I can understand. Then let's pretend this offer was never raised. However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself in need of the shogunate's assistance, please do not hesitate to inform me.
Great. Thank you for your generosity.
Where will you travel to next, Kazuha?
I'll probably take to the seas with Captain Beto again for now. As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
Okay, let's go. Und jetzt kriege
You
ich...
must have a whole bunch of questions after our last conversation with Nahida. Paimon was ready to ask her a million more questions, but didn't want to seem too pushy. Like, about these descenders. So, does that just mean people like you who come traveling to Teyvat from someplace else? And as for your sister... Whew, so many questions.
Ja gut, das werde ich vielleicht noch machen irgendwann heute. Ah, das habe ich lange nicht mehr benutzt, das ist ein Paint. Egal. Dann packe ich hier ein bisschen was rein.
Stand with me.
Klingt wirklich nichts. Egal.
Scatter!
Und das kriege ich. Ah, okay. Anyways, ich würde gerne sehen, was die Waffe kann. Sie ist wahrscheinlich auf Level 1, wenn man sie bekommt. Und man kann sie auch nur für Fallen 1 haben. Ah, und jetzt hat man nicht mehr diese 50% Damage Debuff. Ja, besser ist es, Alter. Ich dachte, sonst wäre sie wirklich unusable. Dann ist die Waffe actually usable, würde ich sagen. When a normal charge or plunging attack hits an opponent, it will whip up a hewing gale, dealing AoE damage equal to 180% of attack and increasing attack by 15% for 8 seconds. The effect can be triggered once every 8 seconds. Also das ist eine komplett andere Waffe dann auch, das macht Sinn. Hätte mich halt gewundert. Weshalb, weil die andere Waffe wäre halt wirklich grotesk scheiße gewesen. Also die könnte man dann halt wirklich nicht benutzen. Aber ja, das heißt jetzt zum Beispiel... Ja, wäre das auf Ayaka theoretisch usable, das ist natürlich obviously eine Million mal besser, aber es gibt Attack, es gibt ein bisschen Damage hier und man kriegt noch 15% Attack Bonus. Das ist auf jeden Fall schlechter als der arme Noma, man kriegt mehr Attack an sich. Zum Beispiel hier, das hat einen ähnlichen Attack-Scaling-Wert, aber du hast eine höhere Base-Attack und du kriegst nochmal 15% hier oben drauf. Aber man kriegt halt nicht die Energy zum Beispiel zurück und das ist absolut scheiße. Das ist Much. Also das ist actually keine schlechte Waffe unbedingt bestimmt, aber halt nicht gut genug, als dass es ein Charakter wirklich spielen würde im Normalfall. I mean, welcher Sword-Charakter würde die Waffe jemals spielen? Ayato, maybe. Als Kopiumwaffe. Kitching, maybe, aber unwahrscheinlich. Ja, die sind alle schlecht. Also für alle Charakter fast ist es wirklich keine wirklich nutzbare Waffe. Für Ayaka maximal für Charge Attacks würde man eine Ayaka, also eine Charge Attack Ayaka spielen. Aber ansonsten, ja. Ich finde eigentlich Kazuha Story Quest relativ nice. Ich mochte die schon. Also es gab schlimmere, nervigere. Und jo, Ayato musste ich auch noch dazwischen machen. Aber jetzt könnte ich die Archon Quest hier spielen. Die ich vielleicht morgen spielen werde. Heute wahrscheinlich nicht mehr. Und dann könnte ich, nachdem ich die Archon Quest gespielt habe, endlich das machen. Ich könnte auch Quick starten, aber das mache ich nicht. Weil, keine Ahnung. Ich mag es nicht gerne auf diesem Account zu Quick starten. Da würde ich meistens gerne lieber das Ganze durchspielen. Ansonsten würde ich aber sagen, ja, genau, das war die Story Quest hier mit Kazuha. Das hat mich 3 Stunden 11 Minuten gedauert. Okay, cool. Und dann würde ich einfach, glaube ich, mal auch meine Dailies anfangen. Es ist 11 Uhr. Es ist, holy shit, 11 Uhr. Es ist fast Mitternacht. Ja, dann würde ich sagen, mache ich noch einmal schnell meine Dailies und dann war's das, ja.